One of the main reasons I started this channel was to talk about the forgotten and overlooked albums from back in the day. The albums that I wish had gone platinum and gotten the band fame, glory, and tons of hot chicks. And that's the topic of today's video. Patrick Paul, holy shit, we got a new guy here. Patrick Paul and I each have 5 hair metal albums you need to revisit. Right after this.
Who the hell is this Paul kid?
Fuck if I know.
The hair metal guru from Warren to Crew. The hair metal guru. Never forget Charlie too.
Welcome to the Hair Metal Guru. My name is Anthony. They call me the Guru, and holy shit, we got Paul, who is 20 fucking years old, is in college, and apparently loves the shit out of hair metal. And I'll let these guys tell the story, but apparently Paul and Patrick met at a Sebastian Bach show. So first, we are talking, each one of us have 5 hair metal albums that we love, that we feel like maybe are didn't get the attention they deserve, that we feel like you should listen to. So let's meet our roundtable members, and let's start with Patrick. Colonel Patrick is back for the attack. Patrick, welcome back to the show.
Who the hell is this Paul kid?
Fucked if I know.
I'm leaving Sebastian Bach, and all of a sudden I start hearing, "Hey, you're Patrick. You're Patrick." And I look up, and I got this kid. But he was super fucking cool. We hung out after the show for a little bit, and god damn it, here he is. So you all know me. Let's talk about the 20-year-old here, Paul.
Paul, welcome to the show. Why don't you fill us in a little bit on who you are and how the hell you got here?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I am just an avid lover of this music, and I met Patrick at the Sebastian Bach concert, as he was talking about, and yeah, just happy to be here.
So how did you get into this music? I'm assuming your parents or some shit.
Yeah, my parents a little bit, but then I started delving into it on my own. What was like the first band I got into? I got really into Motley Crue and never looked back.
Okay.
Easy one to get into.
And where, obviously I see an Ozzy Osbourne poster, we see a little Joan Jett, we see an acoustic. So where are you at, and what are you doing with your life? What do you want to do with your life, Paul?
I want to rock.
There you go.
Oh, he fits. He kind of reminds me. Anyway, so where are you at now?
So I'm in college right now, actually. Okay. Yeah.
What are you taking up?
Sorry?
What are you taking? I'm sorry. What are you taking up?
Oh, I'm an architecture major. So
okay. All right. So you have an architecture major. Have you gotten a minor in possession yet? Just kidding.
Not yet, but I'll let you know when I do.
Okay. I got mine 9 days before I turned 21. Holy shit, that sucked. Okay, so okay, Paul is it's great. We've had Mariah. Mariah is 23. Mariah is a college student. She's been on the channel numerous times. It's great to find these young people who love this music and are going to be part of the generation that keeps this stuff alive. So Paul, it's awesome to have you. And apparently you're on Twitter. Do you know your Twitter handle?
Yeah, you can find me over Twitter at Headbangers Paul, also on YouTube.
Okay.
I haven't been making as many videos as I'd like, but sure. I'll have to get onto that.
Okay. I will put your Twitter handle and maybe your YouTube handle in the description. And I know Patrick's is at coolasice232. And you can follow me on X at Hair Metal Guru, and you'll find all the links for that shit down in the description. I'll put their pictures up here. So today we are talking 5 hair metal albums that we think you need to revisit. And I'll let these guys share if they want how they went about their choices. I tried to pick albums that I hadn't overdone in the past. So you're not going to hear me talk about Warrant or Lillian Axe or anything like that. I tried to pick stuff that I've very rarely talked about. Patrick, what was your method of attack?
There's always so many records that, over the years I've wanted to talk about and wanted to bring up, and there never just seems to be a list that they fit. And so I jumped at this, and this was easy for me. So
Okay. Paul, did you just kind of pick your five favorites, or how did you pick the ones that you're going to be talking about?
Yeah, I just try to pick the ones that not too many people talk about, not your Slippery When Wets and
Right.
Dr. Feelgoods and whatnot, just kind of the more obscure stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Holy shit. 20 years old. That is badass. You got your whole life ahead of you. You haven't been beaten down by the system or the man like me and Patrick have. So it's exciting to have some youthful exuberance on the show. So this is how I think we're going to do this. We're going to go uh we'll go Patrick, Paul, myself. That's going to be our rotation. Patrick, what is your number five album that you feel like fans of this channel need to go revisit?
Tattoo Rodeo, Rode Hard, Put Away Wet. What a fucking record that is. From 1991, Dennis Churchill, Dries Churchill, amazing singer. He was the singer for White Sister, and he comes and he puts this band together. Every fucking song on this record is epic. And for me especially, I fell in love with this record in like 95, 96 when my friend got it and found it, and I just love the shit out of this record. And I'm really looking forward to, we booked him for an interview,
Mhm.
and that's going to be amazing, and I know that's coming up soon. But everybody should go check out this record. There's so many great things in it.
Um, so Tattoo Rodeo started off as like a pop rock band called White Sister, like full of like a lot of keyboards. The first album was produced by Greg Gifria.
Yeah.
Um, but those two albums kind of bombed. So then they get this kind of stripped down, dusty, acoustic, southern shit. Check out the song "Been Your Fool." You're right. I fucking love that album, and I remember finding it at Media Play when it had the
The
cuts,
corner chopped out.
the corner chopped, so it was 2.99. And
Yeah.
I also remember because that day I also got Michael Monroe Not Faking It for the
Mhm.
same price. So anyway, I'm right with you. Tattoo Rodeo, Road Hard, Put Away Wet kicks ass.
My favorite song on that record is a song called Tell Me Why. And
Oh,
it is just such a fucking great song. But you could pick any of them. Sweet
yeah.
Little Vicky's fucking badass. I mean, they rock. They hit you in the feels. Musicianship is bar none. Incredible. Great.
I played Everybody Wants What She's Got on Hair Metal Mansion last Saturday.
Yeah. Paul, do you know
Paul, have
them?
you ever heard that album?
I know of it. I can't say I've spent a whole lot of time with it, so I'll have to go back and revisit it.
They did put out a follow-up on Mausoleum, and I think in '95 called Skin. And
Yeah.
I'll say this: in 2015, Dennis Churchill Dries, the singer and the leader of the band, put out a solo album called I. And I was listening to it, getting ready for and it's kind of more on the poppy side. It's got more key, but it's pop rock. And I was like, son of a bitch. It sounded really good. So I recommend people check that out as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Paul, what do you got? What's your number five?
My number five is this is this band's sixth album. I got CD right here. It's Quiet Riot, the self-titled, or like I guess it's called QR according to Paul Shortino, at least. Their one and only album with him. When I first started listening to it, I thought that it sounded like Steve Perry fronting Whitesnake a little
Yeah.
bit. So, yeah, it's a huge departure from what they were doing before that, which, in my opinion, is a good thing because I really cannot stand Quiet Riot 3. That's just kind of a dumpster fire, in my opinion.
Right? Okay. Uh,
Uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I would definitely recommend the track Run to You and the single Stay With Me Tonight.
I don't think I've spent much time with that album. I'm sure I've listened to it at some point, but I
I
could give a
have.
shit
They
about
put out an entire concert live in Japan on VHS that you can watch the whole thing on YouTube from that tour. And those two videos are so bizarre for Run to You and The other one, the single there. What did you say it was, Paul?
Oh, stay with me
Yeah,
tonight.
Stay With Me Tonight. But I love that record. It's honestly the only Quiet Riot record I really enjoy.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, surprising.
It was such a, if I remember right, such a drastic change
Hmm.
from the Metal Health and fucking what was the next one
Condition
called?
Critical.
Condition
Condition
critical.
Critical. It was such a change. So I mean, you had to go into it not expecting Quiet Riot in a way.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. My number five, um, from the only band that we've had three members on for interviews. It came out in 1992, so that, it was fucked from the beginning. But Trickster's Here album, um, is, and I'll tell you what, I didn't give it much of a shot when it came out. It hasn't been until I started listening to, until I started doing this channel, and people started talking about it, and I was like, shit, I remember, I don't know, somebody talking about the song Blood Rock, and I was like, all right. So I played it on Hair Metal Mansion. I was like, wait a minute, fucking, that's a great song. And just kind of started like every now and then I'd put it on. The first single is called Road of Thousand Dreams, which is a really good song. It was maybe a little too poppy for 1992. That's a great song. Rockin' Horse is a great song. Runaway Train is a great ballad. There's two great ballads. The other one's called As the Candle Burns. But the whole album is solid. It came out in October of 1992, and they got the Kiss tour, the Revenge tour, but even that tour, like occasionally it was playing to big audiences, but there were times they were playing in front of 1,500 people, which for Kiss was just a disaster. But I really think people need to go back and revisit Trickster, the Hero album. And I'll just say, I fucking love Pete Lauren's voice. I mean, obviously the whole band is talented. Steve Brown was a great guitar player, but Pete Lauren's voice, I feel like was a little bit different than what other. It kind of had the scratch to it, but it could also almost remind me of Steve Perry at times in a way. So Trickster here, bombed on the charts, but lives on in our hearts. Go check it out.
I love that record. I remember not even knowing that record had come out until it was out, and seeing the headphones on the Earth,
Yep.
and being like, holy shit, I had no idea this was out, and then bought it and loved Road of a Thousand Dreams.
Yep.
I fucking song is incredible. Rockin' Horse is great. Blood Rock's great. All the ones you said are great. Whole record's great, and I agree 110% with what you said. Pete Loran is a great singer, and ditto on the other two albums that they released in the mid 2000s.
Yep.
Those are great records. I love Human Era, but god damn, Here is a great record.
Yep. Absolutely. Paul, you have any experience with Trickster here?
Yeah, so I checked out the first album, really enjoyed it. Honestly, this is kind of ridiculous, but I didn't give this one the chance for the longest time because I thought that the cover was really stupid with like the headphones on the earth.
Yeah.
But I heard the song Rockin' Horse and that changed everything. Love that one.
Yeah, I'm that cover, I'll be honest, yeah, it's not the best cover I've ever seen.
Oh no, not a lot of thought went into the marketing of that record.
No, no. All right, let's move on to our number
Well, they were on
four.
MCA, so what do you expect?
Yeah, it was on MCA. Fucking A.
Great point, Paul.
All right, we're on to Patrick's number four. What do you got?
1997, I paid $45 for the import of this record to get the different bonus track that was on it, because my friend had gotten the domestic version, and I had a cassette tape, a copy of that from him, but I went and got the Japanese import for the bonus track is 1997's album Kill Fuck Die from Wasp. Reunion between Blackie Lawless and Chris Holmes. That album, it annoys the shit out of me when everybody's like, "Oh, they went industrial." The fuck, they went industrial? They did not. They just turned the guitars a little heavier and sang about some dark shit. And that album smokes. There are so many great songs on it. Kill Fuck Die is great. Little Death is great. My Tortured Eyes is great. Kill Ahead is great. The whole thing is fantastic. It sounds great. It's just a fucking shame that it fell apart.
I know of that. Well, obviously I know of that album, and I know I've listened to it. I think it came out. I think it was right after Hell Dorado.
No,
And by the
I think
way,
it was before
Eldorado
El
is after
Dorado.
that.
okay,
Yeah.
so but I mean, I can see it. It's not like it's a total industrial record, but you can kind of hear how people might get
Sure.
that. It does have some elements of it. It's really, hard rock, heavy shit that almost leans industrial at points. But I shouldn't be the one fucking because I can't sit here and but I've listened to it a couple times. I'll be honest, I listened to it a couple times and I'm like, oh, I just don't know if it was for me. I should probably revisit it.
Paul, have you heard it?
Yes, I love that record. I'm probably in the minority of people that actually prefers 90s Wasp to 80s Wasp.
Me
Between
too.
like that, Crimson Idol, Still Not Black Enough, Hell Dorado. It was just an insane run of albums for them.
I love this kid.
Wow. Damn, he's like fucking surprising me here. That's awesome. Kick it.
Still not black enough. People has Wasps, in my opinion, their best ballad, and it's called "Breathe," and it's fucking gorgeous ballad, and it's so good. But just had to say that.
What Wasp did a lot of really good ballads.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah,
They kind of get the credit of just being an outrageous heavy metal band. They had some badass ballads.
yeah.
All right, Paul, what's your number 4?
Number 4, I'm staying right on 1988, going with Pantera, Power Metal, their
Wow.
fourth album. Yeah, I got the CD right here, and of course, it was that album before Cowboys from Hell, and oh, I just love it. You got Dimebag Darrell finally unleashed in full form, and if you cleaned up the production a little bit, which I really wish that like Phil and Rex would stop disowning it and give it a proper re-release because the bones are there, but they didn't really have any budget for it, unfortunately. And also, you got a song co-written with Ron Keel.
You do.
Okay.
Love the song "Pussy Tight." Great
I,
song.
I think those guys are missing out on a fucking huge untapped income source by not putting out all those 80s albums in a big ass
Mm-hmm.
box set and putting some extra shit in there. I mean, that's fucking, and it's just lame disowning your past anyway, but I'll stop there.
Especially since we got so little with the Abbott brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if enough time has gone by, you can say, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe maybe I did some shit when I was younger that I kind of look back on and think it was goofy. Most of us have gotten past that to where you can say, ah, fuck it, who cares? It was young, I was young, it was fun. Go ahead and throw it out there and let the people judge it for themselves, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's like
There's nothing
Pantera
wrong.
fans aren't gonna disown you just because you had big hair back in the day. So just go ahead
Right.
and do it, guys.
Right.
Well, there was nothing wrong with those albums. They just sound like a cheap Van Halen,
Right.
Yeah,
attempt. And you know what? That's what everybody was at that time.
Yes.
They're great records. I love that record, Paul. I love that record.
All right. Okay. My number 4. Okay, I'm gonna visit Canada twice on this fucking list. No shit. That's for you, Jason Reed. Um, I feel like if there was a band that was always on the cusp, and when I listen to their albums, I'm like, how did they not blow up right alongside your Quiet Riots and your Twisted Sisters and shit like that? It's Helix. They had kind of a minor hit with Rock You, kind of got some airplay. They had a couple albums that I'm sure sold a couple 100,000 copies. But in 1987 was such a difficult band, and I put Helix right alongside again, Quiet Riot, Twisted Sister, Crocus. By the time the hair metal really started, they were kind of like, their look didn't fit in. You know, the hair was a little shorter. They were kind of the jean jackets and shoulder length hair, and they didn't quite look right alongside Bon Jovi and Poison and Cinderella. But their 87 album Wild in the Streets is fucking phenomenal. It only went to number 179 on Billboard. They lost their deal after that. But the title track, Wild in the Streets, is a fucking party rock stomper. Never Gonna Stop the Rock is great. What You Bringin' to the Party is a badass rock song. The song She's Too Tough, written by Joe Elliott, actually ended up on Def Leppard's Retroactive album, but Helix covered it, even though back then it wasn't covered because Def Leppard hadn't released it yet. She's Too Tough is phenomenal. And then they did a cover of Nazareth's ballad, Dream On, and it is amazing. It should have been a hit. This album is all, even the songs that I didn't list, there's none of them that are bad, but Wild in the Streets from 87 deserves so much better. Helix comes in at number 4 for me.
I have never really listened to Helix. I know the songs that they had on early MTV,
Yep.
but I will check that out because
Yeah.
I don't know why it wouldn't be great.
But Brian Vollmer just has such a cool, scratchy, kick-ass rock and roll voice. Anyway.
Exactly.
All right. All right, we're going on to our number 3. And Paul, shit, feel free to, if you're like, fuck, hold on, let me tell you. I just kind of move on, but feel free to interject with opinions at any time. So we are going on to Patrick's number 3. What do you got?
For the last like month, I made a steady attempt to get Anthony into this band because I know he was never a fan before. And that is the second album from the Mighty Kingdom Come. The album In Your Face is probably my second favorite Kingdom Come record. But I love this album so much because it moved away from what Kingdom Come was on the first record, which was just straight blues rock. And it went right into just kind of being a straight ahead rock band with some bluesy tinge. And the first single from it, Do You Like It, was Smoke Show. It was just killer. I love Overrated's a great song. Just Like a Wild Rose is probably my favorite song on that record. Stargazer kicks ass. They just fell apart at the end of that record. And, you know, Lenny would go on to continue doing Kingdom Come for years before they finally got back together without Lenny. And everybody knows what happened to James Kotak and stuff. But Danny Stagg and Rick Steyer were two phenomenal guitar players. I don't know what happened to Rick Steyer when he went to Warrant because he certainly didn't play like he did in Kingdom Come. But the musicianship in Kingdom Come was great. I liked Lenny Wolfe's voice. I know it's a very acquired taste for a lot of people. But check out that second Kingdom Come record, In Your Face. It's just smokes. It's a great record.
Do you like it and Overrated? Because so I've started to listen to it and I'm like, oh, well, those two are pretty immediate. I need to give it some more spins. I actually just played Overrated on Hair Metal Mansion, and we're going to be interviewing Rick Steyer here. He's supposed to call me, in fact, today. So it'll be kick-ass to talk to him about Kingdom Come and Warrant. So yeah, solid from what I know about it.
Paul, you know that record?
Honestly, I haven't spent a lot of time with Kingdom Come yet, but I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, awesome.
But hearing Kingdom Come in Your Face is always fun to say.
It's the whole reason they said that record. So
Right. That's right. We're on to Paul's number 3, right, Paul?
Yeah, so for my number 3, I'm going with the band Hawk. Their self-titled and only album from 1986. If you've ever seen the cover, it's a really horrible cover. That's honestly what grabbed my attention about it. So if that's what they were going for, then it worked. Yeah, it was kind of a really different sound and image. They were an LA band, but they definitely sounded a lot more, Motorhead, Judas Priest, that kind of stuff. actually, the Judas Priest connections don't stop there because in their early days, Scott Travis was the drummer, and then he got replaced by Matt Sorum on their only album. And I think Lonnie Vincent from Bullet Boys was in the at one point.
I just remember Doug Marks was in every fucking heavy metal magazine with his guitar instructional videos. And I remember listening. But I honestly have no opinion on the music. I haven't spent enough time with it, but
I think it's a cool choice. Good
but
job.
yeah. I mean, the fact that you know some of this shit is like blowing me away for 20 years old. Like, holy fuck.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
All right, don't get a big head, Paul, and start thinking that you're bigger than the show, though. Okay. All right, just fucking with you.
It's okay. I won't go solo yet.
There you go. There you go. He's like, fuck. He's already going, fucking, I'm going to start my own channel. It's going to be badass.
He
Fuck
has
these
his
guys.
own channel.
Fuck these guys. I'm going to go on and dominate the world by myself. Nah. All right. My number 3. This actually had some hits. And it went triple platinum in Canada, but not in America, even though and part of it, and I've mentioned this before, this is the very first album I ever bought with my own money. It's Honeymoon Suite, The Big Prize. But I don't think Honeymoon Suite gets talked about enough in rock circles. And they were always like one of those on the cusp of hair metal, maybe hair metal adjacent, if you will. But The Big Prize came out in '86. It was their second album. The first album had a minor hit. What the fuck was that song called? Fuck, I can't remember. But their first album did have a minor hit. But anyway, I remember hearing the song Feel It Again off The Big Prize. It was the first single. And I was like, holy shit. It was like the catchiest chorus of all time. Then, Bad Attitude was another single. That was a hit. And everyone knows I love pussy ballads. And maybe one of the best pussy ballads of the 80s is the song What Does It Take, which was a minor hit in America. I think this album went to like number 60 on the Billboard charts. It probably was borderline gold. It probably sold 400,000 copies. But here's one reason I think it was so fucking great is it was produced by Bruce Fairbairn and Bob Rock. Bruce Fairbairn went on to do Slippery When Wet. Bob Rock went on to do Dr. Feelgood, the Metallica Black Album. They ended up being some of the biggest rock producers in the world, but there was a period where they were still kind of unknown. They did Black and Blue. They did Honeymoon Suite. Everything they fucking touched turned out amazing. And Honeymoon Suite, The Big Prize, awesome pop rock record. It's my number 3.
That's a solid record through and through. You don't have to skip any songs on that one.
No.
Record.
And there were other songs like Lost and Found I could have talked about is amazing. Wounded, Once the Feeling, the whole fucking thing is
I love Once the Feeling. That's a great song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit.
Paul, you know that one?
The Honeymoon Suite?
Not all that well.
Oh,
Would you
real
equate
cool,
them with,
Paul.
like,
Real cool. If you can't come and have your shit, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. You're doing awesome, by the way.
You're so great.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm having a blast right now.
All right.
That's awesome.
Cool. Just make sure you're not masturbating under that table. Okay. All
Put
right.
hands on top of the table.
There you go. That's right. Hand check. Hand check. Okay. All right. We are moving on to our number 2s. And Patrick, what's your number 2?
Since you went hair metal adjacent, I'm going hair metal adjacent because this was one of the first cassette tapes I ever got. I've never talked about this album on the show. And I still to this day put this on and wind up with a huge smile on my face. And that is 1985's album Afterburner by ZZ Top. What a fucking record that is.
Ow.
Every fucking song smokes. It is, a lot of ZZ Top fans hate that record because they adopted some keyboards in it and definitely went very commercial with it. But holy shit, you can't deny a ballad like Rough Boy. You can't take away Sleeping Bag or Velcro Fly or any of these songs are just fucking killer. And I'm like beaming right now because I love that record and I have so many memories to playing that tape. I actually wore that tape out so bad that I had to go out and beg my mom to buy me another cassette copy of it.
I don't think people remember how big ZZ Top were in the fucking 80s.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they were obviously big in the 70s. They had LaGrange and all that shit. But you're right. They were damn near hair metal adjacent on an Eliminator and Afterburner, and they were fucking massive. So yeah, that's a band that deserves some attention here.
Damn right. That is a fucking must own record. Paul, tell me you've heard that record.
I've heard it. It's a really good pick, man.
That's right. See?
All right.
He's a good kid.
All right. Paul, what's your number two?
For my number two, I'm going with Bullet Boys and doing Freak Show. It's my favorite album from them. The cover of Hang On St. Christopher is just awesome. It sounds nothing like the original version, which I think kind of sucks, but no offense, Tom Waits. But yeah, I feel like some of the singles, like Talk to Your Daughter, just wasn't a good move in 1991. Sorry, it's a good song, but just not one of my favorites on the album. I think that Thrill That Kills is really good though.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just like how they really evolved sonically, but still kept a lot of like the sleaze that they had going on the first one.
Oh yeah.
I will be honest. I never really was a huge Bullet Boys fan. Like I loved Smooth Up in Ya. You know, I knew the singles. I liked the singles, but I wasn't buying the albums and digging in deep, and I probably should. So, yeah.
I
So,
spent a fortune in 1994 to buy the special edition of Freak Show that came with the Digiscope case where you could open it up and you'd look through it and it was like a 3D kind of uh, view of all the freaks in it. It was super cool. I wish I still had it. It got destroyed, but
ooh.
yeah, it got wet and it just got destroyed. But I love Freak Show. It's my second favorite Bullet Boys. I love Zaza. That's my record. But
That's a good one too.
I love Zaza. But Freak Show is a killer one, and I got into a nice little argument with the man from Canada, Nate Danger, about what was a good single and what wasn't a good single. And unfortunately, this will be Paul's last appearance on the show because he thinks that "Talk to Your Daughter" sucks, and I love that song.
I didn't say it sucked. I just said
Oh,
it wasn't a good single.
there you go. Maybe Paul will work his way back on the show. So
There you go. All right.
Well, I have to buy a subscription to Charlie's OnlyFans.
That's right. That's right. For
See?
$9.99 a month, you get 8 boobies for the price of 2 boobies. That's right.
He just worked his way back in.
That's right. That's right. It's good that you remembered that. All right, my number two. It's so there were so many fucking great albums in the 90s that got fucking overlooked because nobody was paying attention to hair metal in the mid 90s except for guys like me and Patrick and probably people that appear on this channel. But I am such a massive Kicks fan. Midnight Dynamite, Blow My Fuse was amazing. It should have gone multi-platinum. And then Hotwire, I'm like, holy fuck. But the 1995 album Show Business got completely screwed. It was on CMC, except I think Warrant Ultraphobic, at least they got a video. They got 2 videos. But a lot of those CMC albums, unfortunately, got toasted when it came to promotion. But Show Business is amazing. Brian Forsyth, who I interviewed on the channel, go check out that interview, was actually not in the band at this time, but he came back and did play guitars as a hired gun. But otherwise, the band was mainly together. Donnie Purnell was still their songwriter. This is the last album before they broke up, and then they did that Rock Your Face Off years later with Donnie Purnell not in the band. But anyway, Ball Baby, the opening track, rules. 911, holy fuck, that opening guitar riff is badass. Fireballs, Baby Time Bomb, Put My Money Where Your Mouth Is. What a kick-ass title that is.
Yeah.
Now the one downfall of the album is the ballad, If You Run Around, kind of sucks, but the rest of the album stands up next to the other Cheap Trick albums, Cheap Trick, the other Kicks albums when it comes to rock. Kicks Show Business, number 2, go check it out.
I love that record. I remember when it came out, and we had my friend Matt had a cable access show, and we worked with a guy named Mark Roper from CMC Records to get videos, and he sent us about 6 weeks before Show Business came out. He sent us this big box, and it had like 10 CD singles for 911 and 10 like copies of different records on CMC. He was a good shit to us, and we got a lot of cool stuff out of there.
How
But
did you get that shit?
what?
How did you get that stuff?
So, like I said, my friend had this show, and
Oh, okay.
we bought a fax machine,
Okay.
and he was getting the numbers out of the book. Remember, the CMC releases all had contact
Yep.
information on side, and he faxed, and they faxed back, and it was wild. We got all this shit from this Mark Roper guy.
Mhm.
And tried really hard. I've tried to find this Mark Roper guy. If anybody knows Mark Roper, who used to work for CMC, we would get him on this show because he would have stories for days about all of the CMC's bands. It'd be crazy if we could find him. But anyway, back to Kicks. That album is great. I loved it. Hard as fuck to find, and nowadays, if you go on eBay, that thing sells for a fortune.
I found it at Media Play when it came out, and there was one copy there,
Yeah.
and I bought that fucker. So
You ever heard that record, Paul?
I have. It's a good pick. Just
how do
kind
we
of
know
one
you're
of those
not
bands
just
that
how
really
do we
did.
know you're not just saying that when you could be like, fuck, I have no clue, but I'm just gonna say that I have. How do we know? Just fucking
Um,
Paul,
you're doing a
answer.
hell of a job, by the way.
There we go.
All right. Okay, we are moving on to our number ones. Dying to hear what you guys got. Patrick, what's your number one?
In 2000, one of the greatest singers in the genre, who released one of the greatest albums the genre has ever had. It's probably a top 3 album in my life. Released his very first and only solo album so far to date, and that is Davy Vain. Davy Vain's 2000 solo album, In From Out of Nowhere, is a brilliant masterpiece in my book. Is it complete hair metal? No. But it's not even hair metal adjacent. It's got all the sleaze in it that it should. His voice is exactly where it was. The musicianship in it is amazing, and the song crafting is just brilliant. Songs like Trinity, um, the title track In From Out of Nowhere is brilliant. I urge everybody to go online and hear that record. It is so good. It was self-released on his Jackie Rainbow Records. Go do yourself a favor and hear the first single was a killer rock song that could have been on any Vane album called Push Me Over. Incredible record. Love it. Davy Vane, In From Out of Nowhere.
I think I'm sure I've listened to that. I mean, I've listened to everything that Vane or Davy Vane has done at some point or another, but I haven't spent as much time with that shit as I should have. So, but I trust you because fucking almost everything that guy does is good. But there was a period in those years where, there's so much shit going on that I don't think I spent a lot of time with that record.
It's very psychedelic in some areas. The Vane Fade record from 1995
Yep.
was very psychedelic, kind of dreamy sounding. There's a little bit of that on this record, but he definitely remembered how to fucking put distortion on a guitar and drive it. And it's a killer record. I've heard, and I can't confirm, but I've heard from other interviews with some of the other members of Vane that record is a Vane record
Mhm.
and was meant to be a Vane record, but they couldn't title it that way because of legal matters. So that's why it came out under the name Davy Vane. Don't
Okay.
quote me on that, but
Okay.
great record.
Paul, you have any
Honestly,
thoughts on that?
honestly, I know nothing about that. I don't think I've ever listened to it, but it sounds cool, so
Yeah, I have to check it
I'll
out.
have to give it a listen.
Okay.
Please.
Paul, what's your number one?
My number one is Bangkok Shocks, Saigon Shakes, Hanoi Rocks from Hanoi Rocks. Yeah, it's an album that was way ahead of its time, sounded completely different than anything that was else anything else that was out at the time. A lot of punk influence, more so than their later stuff, which I mean, all of those guys were in punk bands before that. But like Tragedy, that was way ahead of its time. Don't Never Leave Me, Cheyenne, First Timer. It's a perfect listen completely through, and it's yeah, we all can just wonder what might have gone differently if what happened on December 8th, 1984 didn't happen, but one of my favorites of the genre.
Okay, Paul, you can keep coming back on the channel now.
Anthony, why don't you hide your boner right now? Because
Oh, I'm not gonna hide it. I'm gonna beat it. Holy shit. I think that's the first time I've ever heard a okay, I did do a video with Marco from X. We talked about Hanoi Rocks, but that's other than that, the first time I've ever heard anybody mention Hanoi Rocks besides me.
They're a top five band for me.
Fucking A, I love that band. Oh. And you know what? I mean, when you look back, you're like, Michael Monroe didn't have like the best voice. But everything just came together. The punk influences mixed with the, punk and hard rock and his weird. And do you notice like in the early albums, his voice was always really high pitched. And then he
Yeah.
brought it down on Two Steps from the Move for like Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Anyway, I fucking worship that band. I have so much uh Hanoi Rocks or Michael Monroe shit. You can probably see those posters
okay.
back there in my house. So great call. Love that album.
Nice work, Paul.
All right. Good job. Shit. All right. My number one. Okay, I wore my Electric Angels shirt today, not to talk about Electric Angels, but the band that formed in the early 1980s that ended up becoming Electric Angels is a band called Candy. And they formed in, I think it was like 81. And Jonathan Daniel was the bass player and the main songwriter. John Schubert was, and both of those two went from Candy to Electric Angels to the Loveless. The other guys kind of rotated. But Candy, besides John Schubert and Jonathan Daniel, had Gilby Clarke on guitars, who would later be in Guns N' Roses. Anyway, they had a singer named Kyle Vincent, and Candy is very power pop rock. Sometimes I listen to Candy and I'm like, it feels like if you were listening to some of the poppier stuff of the 50s and the 60s and combined it with hard rock or hair metal, that's what Candy became. I kind of feel like, and I think Patrick, maybe you and I have said this before, Pretty Boy Floyd did that on Leather Boys with Electric Toys. Some of the lyrics were very. As I was walking out of class the other day at school, I Want to Be With You. You hear a lot of that on Candy, but this album is so fucking perfect. And I don't think it sold shit. It came out in August of 85 on Mercury Records. I'll give you some song titles. The whole thing is amazing. American Kicks, Pop Rock Perfection, Turn It Up Loud, Whatever Happened to Fun was a single. Holy shit, The Last Radio Show is a ballad that is kind of like about the end of rock music. It really would become apropos when fucking grunge came in.
Oh yeah.
Kids in the City is amazing. The whole Electric Nights, Lonely Hearts, it's all power pop. It probably has more in common with Cheap Trick than Poison, but I cannot get enough of Whatever Happened to Fun, the 1985 album by Candy. Please, please, please listen to that album. That's my number one.
I got that album for a lot of money. It cost me a fortune to get it after the John Schubert interview.
Oh yeah. So
Because,
have you given it much of a
oh
spin?
yeah, oh
Okay.
yeah. No, it's a great record.
Okay.
You know, you definitely can hear where Electric Angels came from.
Yep.
And you know, they have a style. They have a style that's all their own, and it is pop rock perfection.
Totally. Paul, have you heard of Candy or Electric Angels or The Loveless?
I love Electric Angels. Not sure if I've spent much time with Candy, but I also really like Pretty Boy Floyd and
Yeah.
all that stuff you're equating it with. So I think I'm gonna like it.
Oh, I started listening to that again when I did that interview, and I was like, son of a bitch, it's so good. Yeah, I can't. And I obviously love this. And the Loveless put out their album Tales of Gin and Salvation in 1995. All three of those albums basically flopped, but Jonathan Daniel is a genius songwriter. And if you don't know what he's doing now, he's like a big time music manager. I think he manages like Fall Out Boy and Courtney Love and all these big like punk bands and shit. So, guy obviously was a winner at no matter what he did. So,
Was one of the guitarists from Alice Cooper in that
Brian
band?
Roxy was the guitar
that's
player
right.
in Electric Angels and is now with Alice Cooper. Yes. And I would love to fucking have Ryan Roxy or Jonathan Daniel or Shane. Well, Shane, who was the singer in Electric Angels and The Loveless, he and I chat a lot. He just doesn't want to do interviews for some reason. So
Paul is gone.
Paul's like, I got to masturbate real quick because we're talking about all these bands that I like. So, all right. Well, we have Paul via the vocals. We just can't see him, which is kind of the way I feel about some of the bands that I used to like back in the day. Just kidding. So, all right, we got to the end of 5 essential hair metal albums that we feel like you need to revisit. We would love it if you went in the comments and maybe gave your thoughts about some of the albums that we talked about, or tell us what are some of the albums that you feel like we need to check out. And with that, it's time to say goodbye to our roundtable members. Paul, even though we can't see you, man, you did a great job. You obviously have a lot of knowledge about this music, and you brought up Hanoi Rocks, so fucking bonus points for you. Paul, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. This was super fun, and it's always fucking awesome to find a fellow Hanoi Rocks fan.
Badass, badass. We'll have to have you on to do some other Hanoi Rock shit.
I would love that.
I want to do we were just saying this when you were off. I want to do a top 10 songs of Hanoi Rocks at some point. So,
If you do that, let me know because I'd be all about that.
and maybe even rank the Hanoi Rocks albums would be fun to do too. So, all right, good to have you on. Patrick, Colonel Patrick, as always, a blast having you on, man.
Everybody needs to go out and check out that fucking Davey Vane solo record because it fucking kicks ass in from out of nowhere. But damn it, it's the best goddamn show on YouTube. And I gotta say, it is an amazing feeling being an old fuck and having kids like Paul here who have just dove in head first to discover this music. And it really shows how important this music is and that it's timeless. So it's
It
great.
really is.
Yeah, it's
Great.
badass. Badass. All right. Hey, head in the comments. Down in the description, you will see the link for Hair Metal Mansion that I host every Saturday on Rock 101 KLOL. You'll see the link for Hair Metal Guru merch. You'll see the link to FNA Records, who are putting out some of our some kick-ass music from some of our favorite bands. And hey, like, subscribe, what the hell, ring the bell. And hey, whatever you can do to support the channel, I just appreciate you being here until the next video comes out. My name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. Take care of yourselves.